And we can bring you another CNN projection. CNN projects that Indiana will go to Donald Trump. Indiana, with its 11 electoral votes, will go to Donald Trump. Let's look at the electoral map now to see where the candidates stack up. Remember, 270 needed to win. Donald Trump has 19 electoral votes.
And you have a very narrow lead for Donald Trump, or that's, I guess, better than that. Lead for Donald Trump, 54,000 votes now. I say narrow and it grows. That's what happens on live television. You see that right there.
Right now, and CNN can make a projection that Donald Trump will win the state of West Virginia. West Virginia and its 4 electoral votes. Donald Trump has 23 electoral votes in the lead of Kamala Harris, who has 3 electoral votes. That's right. I have a projection now. CNN has a projection. And CNN can project that South Carolina will go to Donald Trump. South Carolina, as expected, to the Republican with 9 electoral votes. And CNN can project that Donald Trump will win the state of Arkansas, as expected. Donald Trump will take home Arkansas's 6 electoral votes.
Jake?
All right, David Chang, thanks so much. This would have been a very different race if Joe Biden had stayed in it. I mean, if it ends with a Trump victory, and we have no idea how it's going to end, so don't misinterpret what I'm saying. But there's going to be a lot of finger pointing and recriminations and wondering. But these approval ratings for Joe Biden are brutal.
6 in 10 in Wisconsin say that they don't approve of the president. I mean, it is brutal, and there's no other way to look at it. And that is, no question, a big headwind for Kamala Harris.
CNN can project that New York, as expected, will go to Kamala Harris.
Yeah, Jake, this group here has been here for a little while now, and they've been watching the returns as they've been coming in. You're hearing them right now cheering as they're seeing you, a little bit delayed, calling New York for Kamala Harris. They want some good news tonight. I can feel the anxiety in the crowd. These are all people who want to have a party. They want to celebrate. There's been a DJ playing all night long. But the results are coming in, and they're coming in slowly. But each time a race is called for Harris, or she's shown in the lead in one of these battlegrounds, it is a big moment for the folks here at the Kamala Harris headquarters.
But if you're a Democrat, you're kind of a little, ooh, should we be nervous about this? Then you should be, wow, should we be optimistic about that?
I am going to now bring you a projection. And CNN can project Louisiana will go to Donald Trump. Louisiana, with its 8 electoral votes, as expected, to Donald Trump. Let's see what that impact is on the electoral vote count. Donald Trump has 162 votes, electoral votes. Kamala Harris has 81 electoral votes. She has exactly half. 270 votes are needed to win. And CNN can project that Donald Trump will win the state of Montana. As expected, Trump gets Montana with its 4 electoral votes. CNN can also project that Donald Trump will win the state of Utah. As expected, Utah with its 6 electoral votes. John, and we have some projections for you now. CNN can project that Kamala Harris will win the state of Colorado. Colorado, as expected, will go Democratic with its 10 electoral votes. CNN can also project that Donald Trump will be the winner of Mississippi. As expected, Mississippi and its 6 electoral votes go to the Republican. Let's bring in the electoral map right now. Donald Trump in the lead, 178 electoral votes. Kamala Harris has 91 electoral votes. Estimated vote counted in Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. Donald Trump in the lead there now, 50.3% of the vote in Pennsylvania. Kamala Harris has 48.7% of the vote. Donald Trump with a 58,648 lead right now, with an estimated 51% of the vote in Pennsylvania. Battleground, North Carolina, Donald Trump in the lead, 52.4% of the vote. Kamala Harris with 46.4% of the vote.
This is the most interesting one. Mr. Tapper's home state, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, just flipped red. Remember earlier I was saying the 3 blue wall states had stayed blue throughout the night. We're not nowhere near the end. We are nowhere near the end. We're at 51% right there. The Trump lead now 170,000 votes. It was over 200,000 not that long ago. So it has come down some as more votes come in.
CNN can project that Donald Trump will win the state of Ohio. Ohio, as expected, will go to Donald Trump. Ohio with its 17 electoral votes. What does that mean for the electoral count map? Donald Trump has 195 electoral votes. Kamala Harris has 91 electoral votes. 270 are needed to win.
And an interesting development, again, it's early, we're still counting votes, but Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, half an hour ago, were all still blue. Now Wisconsin has flipped to red only by 8,000 votes, and we're only at 47% reporting.
But 4 years ago, Biden beat Trump with Latinos in Pennsylvania. by 42 points. So that is a huge movement for Trump in narrowing that gap. Similar story in Michigan. You see the Latino vote makes up 6% of the share. Sorry, not a similar story, reverse. Donald Trump is winning the Latino vote in Michigan with 60% of the vote. Harris, 35% of the vote. That's a 25% advantage for Trump among Latinos. That is a big change when Biden won Latinos in Michigan by 11 points 4 years ago. That's a 36-point swing in the margin.
And yet, according to this exit poll, it shows that let's stick with Trump, that Trump is doing way better than he did 4 years ago with that very population, the Latino population overall, not necessarily with Puerto Ricans.
Donald Trump with a 4,004 up, that just increased. So to a 6,556 lead ahead of Kamala Harris with an estimated 55% of the vote in from Wisconsin. In Pennsylvania, Donald Trump maintaining his lead, 50.9% of the vote. Kamala Harris has 48.1% of the vote. Donald Trump with a 121,000 plus vote lead. That's with 61% of the estimated vote in from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. In Georgia, Donald Trump maintaining his lead with 51.2% of the vote. Kamala Harris has 48% of the vote. Donald Trump with a 153,980 vote lead. And in North Carolina, Donald Trump maintaining his lead. He has 50.7% of the vote. Kamala Harris with 47.9% of the vote. Donald Trump is 134,000 plus votes ahead with 84% of the estimated vote in.
Yeah, Jake, let me just give you a gut check here about what we are hearing here as we've been sitting here reporting from the Harris headquarters. And I think the operative word right now is silence. There's not a lot being said because the Harris team appears to be searching for bright spots in the map as these results very, very slowly come in.
Yeah, this is my 7th presidential election. I would observe that when campaigns go silent, that's generally not a positive sign. Caitlin Collins, you're in West Palm Beach with the Trump team. What are they saying?
Yeah, Jake, much livelier here. As you can hear, Donald Trump's favorite song, YMCA, is playing behind me. And certainly the audience here has gotten a lot livelier in just the last 45 minutes or so, Jake. We've been here for several hours, and that matches the feeling back at Mar-a-Lago, where we are hearing from Trump campaign sources that they are feeling a lot more optimistic about these numbers, boosted by Virginia, but also by Iowa.
Well, John, what can you tell us about Georgia right now?
So let's look at Battleground, Georgia. First, let's just look at the entire map and look at it out. There's a lot of red on that map. A lot of red on that map, and that tells you right now, with a lot of votes to be counted, this map looks a lot more like 2016 than it does like 2020. And you can know at home what happened in those two elections. But we're not done with the count, so let's look in Georgia. Right now, the former president leading in Georgia by 136,000 votes and change at 51%. So then we come up here, and that's what made Donald Trump president in 2016. He flipped the blue wall states that had voted. They have voted together since 1992. They have voted blue in every one of those elections with the exception of 2016.
And we have a projection for you now. CNN can project that Kamala Harris will win the state of California with those 54 electoral votes. Not unexpected. Harris will win California. CNN is also projecting that Donald Trump will win the state of Idaho with its 4 electoral votes. Let's look at these battleground states now. Arizona, Donald Trump in the lead there, 49.6%. Kamala Harris right behind him with 49.5%. Donald Trump has a 2,356 vote lead with 51% of the estimated vote in from Arizona. Wisconsin, Donald Trump in the lead there too, 49.9% of the vote. Kamala Harris is 48.4%. Donald Trump has a 28,576 vote lead with an estimated 59% of the estimated vote in from the Badger State. In the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Donald Trump maintaining his lead. He's at 50.7% of the vote. Kamala Harris with 48.2% of the vote. Donald Trump with a 119,411 vote lead with 68% of the estimated vote in from Pennsylvania. In Georgia, Donald Trump still in the lead there, 51% of the vote. Kamala Harris with 48.2% of the vote. Donald Trump with a 136,328 vote lead. That is with 88% of the estimated vote in from the state of Georgia. In North Carolina, another battleground where Donald Trump leads, 50.8% of the vote. Kamala Harris has 47.8% of the vote. Donald Trump has a 145,388 vote lead.
Right, and you heard Jeff and Abby emphasizing even the campaign saying essentially they don't rule out any other possibilities, but we're really banking on the blue wall. Well, at the moment as we speak, 2 of the 3 blue wall states, that's Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, 2 of the 3 are red. But if you're looking at the North Carolina map, I'd rather be Donald Trump than the Vice President of the United States right now. And yet, at the same time, I just said that, I want to tell you he's 136,000 votes ahead in a state that was decided by 11,000 votes last cycle.
Folks at home, CNN projects that the state of Oregon will go to Kamala Harris. As expected, Oregon, with its 8 electoral votes, will go to the Democrat Kamala Harris. Let's take a look at the electoral map. Right now, Donald Trump has 211 electoral votes. Kamala Harris has 153 electoral votes. 270 are needed to win. Let's take a look at the key races now. Arizona, Donald Trump in the lead there, 49.6% of the vote. Kamala Harris right behind him with 49.5% of the vote. Donald Trump with a roughly 3,000 vote lead. That's with 51% of the estimated vote in from the state of Arizona. In Battleground, Wisconsin, Donald Trump maintaining his lead. 50.4% of the vote. Kamala Harris has 48% of the vote. Donald Trump with a more than 50,000 vote lead right now with 63% of the estimated vote in from the Badger State. In the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Donald Trump maintaining his lead, 51% of the vote. Kamala Harris has 47.9% of the vote. Donald Trump with more than 165,000 more votes than Kamala Harris, with more than 3/4, 76% of the estimated vote in from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. In Battleground, Georgia, Donald Trump in the lead, 50.9% of the vote. Kamala Harris has 48.3% of the vote. Donald Trump has a more than 131,000 vote lead over Kamala Harris. That's with 90% of the estimated vote in. So they got 10% to go there in Georgia, but Donald Trump in the lead. In North Carolina, another battleground, Donald Trump still in the lead there with 50.7% of the vote. Kamala Harris with 47.9% of the vote. Donald Trump has a more than 138,000 vote lead over Kamala Harris.
At the moment, she is underperforming the President of the United States, and she has to make up 178,000 votes. The math there is pretty clear. But as you watch this map fill in, another thing that is distinctive at the moment, we're not done yet, in 2 presidential elections, Donald Trump has lost the popular vote both times. At the moment, he's 5.1 million votes ahead. We're just starting the count in our most populous state. So there's a long way to go, and that could change. That could change, but that would be a trophy. If Donald Trump wins this election, that would be a trophy he would very much like to claim after losing the popular vote in 2 elections in a row, which is an 86,000 vote, almost 87,000 vote lead for the former president, again, in one of the states he flipped in. I just want to pull that out to make sure I'm right. Yes, he's leading in all 3 of them now.
Oh, wait, that changed while we were talking.
That changed while we were talking.
She was ahead in Michigan. Ahead. And now now she is no longer ahead. Now Donald Trump is in the lead. Right now, not all the votes are counted, but right now he's leading in all 3 blue wall states.
Plus North Carolina, plus Georgia, plus Arizona, plus Nevada. We're not done with the count. We're not done with the count.
But this is right now the map of 2016.
That is the map of 2016, and that is the 5-alarm fire inside the Harris campaign to get on the phone.
CNN projects that Donald Trump will win the state of North Carolina. This is the first of 7 battleground states that we're keeping an eye on, and we are calling it for Donald Trump. What does that mean for the electoral count? Donald Trump now has 227 electoral votes. Kamala Harris has 153.
Yeah, Jake, remember when I told you a few hours ago that it was going to be seen as a gut check for the Trump campaign? Listen here, it's a bit of a delay, but your call is playing right now over the loudspeakers in the room, Jake. You can hear the party here, the partygoers gathered at the convention center here in West Palm Beach cheering as your call is coming on the screen. They have been glued to CNN.